it's really crucial what residential real estate does for the market, the economy as a
Hmm.
whole,
Yeah.
right? Like I think the stat I read is it infuses 100 grand into your local market every time a house is sold, which is equal to two average incomes.
Texas is calling, so I gotta go. I said Texas is calling, so I gotta go. Howdy, friends, and welcome to the Texas 12 Spotlight Series, powered by the Gone to Texas podcast and the Texas Economic Development Connection. I'm your host, Super Dave Quinn, and in this series, we are helping business owners and families who aren't just moving a business to Texas, but they're actually choosing where to put down roots. In each region, we're going to sit down with people who know the community and the market and the lifestyle, not from the brochure, but from real experience. And so today we're here in the Upper East Texas region, and I'm joined by my friend Carrie Nuckolls, a local realtor who's helped people make smart, confident moves in this part of Texas every day. So, Carrie, welcome to the show.
Howdy.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so Carrie, for those watching, how long have you worked in the region? How long have you lived there? Give us a little context about why you're on with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's always an honor. I love to talk about Texas. We have the greatest place on earth to live, and I mean that. I grew up here in Northeast Texas, graduated high school in 93, and I was out of here. I lived in DC. I considered San Francisco, New York. I was not living in Podunk. I was, nope, wasn't. And, the Lord has a sense of humor, and so now for 23 years, I have sold it as a way of life. And I rarely meet a person a year down the road that moved here, name the state they or the nation they came from, that doesn't say to me, it may have taken a while, but it's the best thing we ever did.
I love that. May have taken just a second. I love it.
Yeah.
All right, so what part of the region do you actually call home?
Northeast Texas. I am based out of Sulphur Springs area, but we have 7 offices all in the Northeast Texas region, 7 counties: Hopkins, Wood, Rains, Delta, Franklin, Smith. We hunt. We kind of cover it all, everything east and a little north of Dallas. I-20 corridor up all the way almost to Texarkana.
Awesome. Well, listen, folks, if you're like, there's a lot of counties in Texas. Just call Carrie. She'll get you situated. If you're east of Dallas, north of 20, call her. She'll help you out. All right. All
It's
right. So,
green here. There's trees and lakes. We're not everybody wears a cowboy hat, and it's not brown and dusty. So it really is the best place.
I bet I'm going to hear that every region I go to, but I love the enthusiasm. All right. So tell me, if someone's moving into the region for the first time, how would you describe the housing market overall right now? Is it a tight market? Is there lots of availability? What are you guys seeing in your marketplace right now?
I think we're very stable. The thing I can tell you the most is we're insulated. So it we still lack the a handful of good housing. You may look on the market and it may seem as though there's a lot of inventory, but I would still say the good, solid, well built, well updated, well maintained properties that are priced fair and right, which are still a premium, sell without a problem. More normal days on market, 60, 90, 120. Our average is about 110, 120 right now, days on market, which is healthy.
Okay. So, what do you think is the biggest difference in your housing in your region versus something that, like, if they're looking in, let's say, Dallas or Houston or Austin, a big metro, what's something that's a little bit different about your market that they need to be thinking about when they are touring the area?
We don't have as much inventory as those large metro areas. And so to some degrees, it is still pretty tight if you our average sales price is around 300,000. So you have to really keep that in consideration. Now 300,000 buys you a lot more here than it does in the middle of Frisco,
I was
right?
gonna say that
Or
wouldn't get you
Austin,
started in Frisco.
you know. um,
Oh
but
man.
you can buy a very nice custom home on an acre of land with a workshop for 700,000 easy. And it just depends on your budget, or you could go buy 10 to 20 acres and a nice home for 800,000 as well, right? So
Right.
it really depends on your budget, and what you have to spend, I guess. So
Okay.
our higher end stuff can actually do very well. Our land, higher end lake homes, that mid is what's kind of being squeezed for us. 70%, I pulled some stats, 80% in Wood and Hopkins County, which is a huge range, out 60 miles wide, easy. 80% that is on the market is 350,000 or less.
Okay. Wow.
So
All
about
right.
10% of our market is 700 plus.
Okay. Well, so generally speaking, in your region, when people move in, are they buying first? Is it better to try to find a place to rent first? Because if you're coming from California and it's the first time you're moving into maybe a rural community in Texas, again, I don't know if I want an acre. 10 acres sounds awesome till you realize what that workload looks like to take care of 10 acres.
Yeah.
So, what are you seeing? Are people buying or renting first when they come in?
Most people buy first.
Okay.
Only a few executive types or maybe an incoming physician will try to rent first. But most everybody buys. And most of them have been here before. They've done the tour for a couple of days or a week. They've showcased the area, and a lot of them will actually, unless they're very much either job or school district specific, they will look in the 3 to 4 county area. As long as they're 90 minutes from DFW, they're happy. So, and
Okay.
so, yeah.
That's good. All right. So, kind of at a high level, you mentioned a little bit of this about the price ranges, kind of, across the region. Let's talk about the kind of three different styles. As your business owner, you're coming in, you want executive housing, a place where maybe they're going to live. And then you sort of have the management housing, and then workforce entry housing. So let's start with the workforce entry. What's the pricing look like for that sort of entry level workforce housing?
For sure. I think we have a lot of affordable housing. We don't have as much new construction. We only here recently in the last year to two have been able to get some of those larger tract type developers locally. Now you can drive 30 minutes and have them, of course. But most people want to live, you thrive better when you live where you work and you don't have a long commute every single day. We get a lot of telecommuting, but I would say that there is definitely that entry level 350 and under on the market right now is 56% of our inventory.
Okay.
So very much. And then I would say the 350 to 600,000 range, which could still technically be considered somewhat mid level, is 24% of our market.
Okay.
So
And
there's a
then
lot available.
Okay. And then on the higher end, high level, is that what kind of pricing are you talking about there? Sort of executive level housing. Is that
Yeah, I'd say 700 to a million is easily executive level. You have to decide though at that point, do you want to be in your country club neighborhood? Do you want to be at the lake and have a 20-minute commute? Or do you want to have the ranchette, which could be, a 7 to 20 minute commute? You kind of have to decide what level of executive you want to be.
right? All right. Well, so let's talk a little bit about that because the one thing that we talk about from a workforce standpoint, to the small business owners is the commute time and the range, right? You might not have a ton of people in town. But if you give yourself 20 to 40 minutes, that really opens up, your workforce. So from a flexibility standpoint, talk to me a little bit about that, like the commute times, and what are sort of those commute times that you're seeing sort of on average, I guess, in a community in East Texas.
What when we talk about commute, it kind of doesn't exist. I mean, because you can get in your car, even if you live 20 miles north of town on a ranchette, you get to go 75 or 85, however fast you drive, and it only takes you 20 minutes to get here. I mean, your worst day is if you get stuck behind a tractor or a trailer hauling cattle to the sale
Right.
barn, right? So now, yes, you could live at Lake Fork or Lake Cypress, which are waterfront, beautiful lakes, but they're very spread out. And you could have again that 20-minute commute, but it's all just highway. So for the people that do have to travel into Dallas, which can easily be at least an hour, if not two, each way, because once you get into Dallas, you hit the stop and go traffic. I find that we have that a handful of those people for sure, but a lot of them also are part-time telecommuters. Maybe they only have to go in 2 days a week or something like that.
Sweet. Okay. Well, so for business owners who are looking, is there anything that they really, what are some of the things that they need to sort of have in their mind when they start their search? What are, that might be different than what they're used to coming from a different state? Do you have any advice for sort of the first time Texas home buyer who is trying to figure out, the lay of the land, if you will?
I think community is everything. And I think the most important thing that we all need more of is quality of life and more lifestyle margin in our life to do the
Ah,
things that really set our souls on fire and that build relationship and connection. Um, you can't actually grow your business if you don't have some personal growth that's occurring. And so I think that that's what we offer above the hustle and the bustle of cities is we really have a lot of green space. We have wonderful communities that give back and do fundraisers and all these like really small intentional things. But plant shops or pet days or whatever, but on a more intimate scale. And so getting involved in your church or your kids' school or the little league, but again, just a more intimate scale, and less traffic sitting and less stress and pressure to keep up with the Joneses and hustle, hustle, hustle. We get to, I think, relax more here. And still build the kind of life we want to build. And I think that's what we offer over your larger metro areas.
I think that's well said, Carrie. That in fact, when I was out in East Texas for the one of the business owners, I was telling the whole time I was out there, as I was driving from town to town, I found myself driving like 50 miles an hour and backing people up, and I was having to pull over and let people go around me because here in Frisco, I mean, we're darting around like crazy, and I suddenly realized, like, now I understand why my dad, like, it used to drive me crazy that he would drive 50 miles an hour, and I suddenly, like, I get it now, here 50 years later, and I'm like, oh, I get it now. This is awesome. So I think there's a
Yeah.
lot to be said for that. Well, thank you, Carrie. Appreciate it so much. Real quick, for people, if they want to reach out to you, connect with you, what's the best way for them to find you and utilize your services?
Yeah, you can find me on the web in lots of capacities. Live East Texas. That's kind of my tagline. Century 21, first group, Carrie Nuckolls. I'm on Facebook. I randomly do stuff on TikTok to see if I'll go viral because I guess that's what we're all supposed to do. I have a YouTube channel where I do walkthrough videos of homes. And yeah, you can just find me.
All right. Well, we'll put the links down below. But Carrie, thank you so much. I always love talking to you. You're so the energy and the vibrancy that you bring. It's it's really apparent that you're passionate about people and life and living life and helping others live a great life. And I appreciate that about you. So thank you to bringing that to the world, and thank you for giving us a few minutes of your time today to help share that with other folks.
Well, thank you, Super Dave. I love the way you help cast and launch vision. Yeehaw!
I love it. All right, Carrie, thank you so much. Thanks for
Okay,
joining me again.
thank you.
All right,
Bye-bye.
so I gotta go. I said Texas is calling, so I gotta go.